so sad. Can we please get an F in the chat for poor Sanji? He died a hero, a legend, a damn near god. Can't believe that in the latest chapter they just yoinked him from the story like this. It's true, his character arc ended in whole cake, and like, we didn't really know what was gonna happen to him as the story progressed, but none of us would think that the unthinkable happened, hence the term unthinkable, which means none of us would think it would happen. You see where I'm going with this? It was so sad, a truly traumatic experience that the entire One Piece community came together to cry over, and that is the fact that poor Sanji, rest in peace, is dead. I mean, it's true that it was noble and stuff. I mean, the guy jumped in the way to save Luffy from Kaido's fatal blow, and everything that Luffy does from this point on in the series, it will be part of the legacy of the great Sanji. Kinda humiliating that Kaido killed him with a massive dildo. I thought that was maybe a bit of a tarnish to the great complexity and tragic narrative of Blackfoot Sanji Vinsmoke. But hey, Oda's a genius. I'm sure that Kaido's dildo will be foreshadowing the anal bead nunchucks that Big Mom is bound to use to try to take down Blackbeard and his massive panty catapults. That man has weaponry of mass destruction on his hands and he's not afraid to use it. Now, if you clicked on this video, I am certain that you are one of two different people. You either know me well enough to know of my shenanigans, in which case this is a very nice sequel to the Bakugo video, and you're gonna see why I went ahead and made this. It's not just for the cheap memes, nah fam. There is a very important reasoning and thought process that went into the crafting of this masterpiece. Or you are a nonchalant individual who doesn't really know much about me and unfortunately had the poor chance to have this being our first meeting. If that is the case, hello, I am Taku, memer extraordinaire. I killed Bakugo from My Hero Academia. Poor Sanji is now feeling the wrath of the Nuxinator, big sad, F in the chat. Please subscribe, and I'll tell you why you didn't waste this time. Because this video is important for the people that follow me as far as one of my major stances on anime and how it's perceived on the internet is. And if you're new, well then, prepare to learn something because you're the target audience. So I was on Twitter, minding my own business. I was bored. I wanted to tweet something to get some people upset and to make some people happy, which is usually my favorite kind of tweets. So I went ahead and tweeted, "RIP Sanji, can't believe you died in the latest chapter of One Piece." I don't know, I did this like over a month ago, just for the shits and giggles. I meant nothing by it. And obviously the people that know me, well, they all appreciate the memes. They all know of the destruction in my wake. And as they like the tweet, and the tweet gets out of my following, all of a sudden, people that never heard of me, woo! Catastrophe broke loose, fam! It was hell on the streets! Well, the proverbial Twitter streets. I can't understand why. People were upset at me for spoiling. People were saying, Nux, you know that he didn't actually die. Well, no shizzle, I know that he didn't actually die. If he actually died, you think I would spoil it? God damn it, you think I'm a moron? Potentially. Not the point. My IQ is dumb high. I have an IQ of 189.
My IQ level is dumb high. My IQ level is 189.
But not only were people buying into this narrative that they were A, upset at me for spoiling, B, not believing the spoiler because it's obviously not true that Sanji's gonna die, not even at the climax of an arc that isn't even the grand finale of the series. I mean, come on, it is a shonen. Only one semi-important character in the entire series died, and he had less than 10 chapters of collective screen time, essentially. But literally an hour after I tweeted this, news articles started picking up on the rumors of Sanji's death. Like, what? There are no rumors of Sanji's death because I tweeted an obvious meme, okay? The fact that you type Sanji in Google search and all of a sudden, Sanji dies pops up literally an hour after I tweeted that goes to show the state of mayhem people were in. And while I do find that hilarious, and I potentially like to poke fun at the naivete of many individuals, I want to tell you here today to not believe everything you see online. I'm not telling you it's all fake. I'm not telling you it's all real. We all know that news outlets are 90% horse scheisse at this point. When it comes to politics, no matter what side of the political fence you're on, half of what you hear is hogwash. It's all just pushing its own agenda, and I think we've all come to terms with that reality at this point. I think people don't understand that gaming news, pop culture news, and anime news is just as phony. Getting those clicks with the fancy headlines, the fancy thumbnails. They're like YouTubers, but worse, because there's no personality attached to it. They can't be held accountable to anything, and they're just gonna churn out new garbage next time. One of the reasons why I decided to make this video is because I saw a very annoying article this past week talking about Rick and Morty. Now, for those of you that don't know, Rick and Morty's like one of my favorite shows of all time. I love Rick and Morty. And in episode 7 of season 4, there was one joke how they were basically committing genocide on an alien planet, just bombing them and wiping them out. And when they saw a replica of the Twin Towers on the alien planet, they decided not to hit the Twin Towers because that would be going too far, that would be too dark, and honestly, it was an edgy joke, but it was really damn funny. So all these news outlets started coming up, popping up everywhere, not criticizing Rick and Morty, no, because if they would criticize Rick and Morty, they ain't gonna get clicks, they ain't gonna get credit, nah fam. They titled their articles, Rick and Morty fans angry over edgy joke that took things too far. All of a sudden, they are not the target of the terrible take, no, it's those cringy fans of Rick and Morty. They're the morons here. And being that I'm in the Rick and Morty fandom, and I am an absolute mastermind when it comes to picking up different toxicities and different toxic aspects and veins in different fandoms, being that it's like my hobby to find toxic shiz to laugh at. The toxic people hate me, but you know what? I could live with that. There was no toxicity from the Rick and Morty fan base on a whole towards Rick and Morty for making this edgy joke. It didn't exist, but the news articles were so easy to pin the blame on an invisible fan base for the clicks, and it's disgusting. I wanted to make this video just to talk about essentially the idea that don't believe everything you see online. I mean, at this point, everyone that knows me knows I'm memeing more than half the time. I try to sprinkle in some truth bombs amongst the absolute massive quantities of memes that I'm trying to pump through the bloodstreams of my videos. I still can't believe that in my last video talking about Bakugo's death, I mentioned that Deku gained Todoroki's quirks after drinking his piss. And people in the freaking comments were like, bro, I can't believe you spoiled that Deku got Todoroki's quirks after drinking his piss. Really? Was that believable for you? I thought that maybe that slight air of cynicism in your brain would be able to pick up on the absolute retardation of what I was saying. There's a bit of a stigma on fake spoilers, and I guess it's sort of understandable, but that said, since I don't care, I'm such an asshole, I'm just gonna tell it to you straight. People are upset when I fake spoil something because, being that they now know it's a fake spoiler, I technically spoiled that it doesn't happen. I've heard that criticism multiple times, saying that, you say that your fake spoiler was so outlandish no one would believe it as a spoiler, but since no one would believe it as a spoiler because you said it, then technically you're spoiling the fact that that does not take place. Well, is it believable or is it not believable? People want to hit me with that argument all you want, but honestly, it's ridiculous. And I think that the stigma on fake spoilers should be completely neutered. Not only that, spoilers in general, I think, are taken way out of proportion. I do want to work on like this big documentary style video on spoiler crybabies because they exist and they're annoying. If I'm talking to someone who never read One Piece before and I'm like, damn, can't wait until you get to the Water 7 and his lobby arc, and they just throw this miniature temper tantrum. Oh, dude, you spoiled it for me. Now I know there's a Water 7 and his lobby arc. Ah, damn it. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, Nux, you're taking this too far. No! People like that freaking exist, and it's dumb. And that's why I'm here, to call out the douchebags that no one wants to say. There's this massive stigma on spoiling things. So anything that's a slight spoiler that someone could get justifiably triggered over, they feel so good about themselves. Oh, they can tap themselves on the back. They called out the big bad spoiling douchebag. Well, I'm sorry, not gonna stand for this tomfoolery dumbassness telling you that, oh, Doflamingo's one of my favorite villains in anime, but no, I didn't get to Doflamingo yet. No, I know that there's this guy named Doflamingo and he's a villain and he's a really good one. Oh, how could you spoil it for me? Well, you know what? Tough. You're not justifiably angry, so I'm gonna call you out on your stupidity. That's what I do, and I enjoy it. I revel in my ability to call out the morons that no one else has the balls to call them out. I'm one of the 3 co-hosts of a podcast called the One Piece Virgin Podcast, where essentially one of the 3 co-hosts never read One Piece before, and we're basically going through the entire story arc by arc, where he's reading it blind, we get to re-experience it, and I'm having a goddamn good time because One Piece is the king of shonen manga. Suck it if you think otherwise. I just like annoying people. I don't even believe that myself necessarily, but I might. And listen to how funny this fake spoiling shiz actually is. What do you think of this? Okay, we know that Zoro's planning this entire time to become the greatest swordsman of all time and beat Mihawk, who's right now known as the #1 swordsman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, how does it feel that after Zoro loses to Mihawk in the second round, Sanji beats him, okay? Now that's a flex.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When Sanji beat Mihawk,
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
a
hope
huge
this is a
moment.
joke, bro. I hope this is not a real spoiler,
Because-
because I will fucking end you.
I'm sorry, Briggs. I had to spoil it.
What are you talking about, man? No one fucks with Mihawk.
Yeah. Animac
Until
is seen
Sanji
through.
Accept this
Until
shit.
Sanji gets pissed that Mihawk beat Zoro, and then Sanji kicks his butt.
Oh man, I hope this is a meme. If this ends up happening, I'm gonna fucking slap you and over.
Okay. I want to say something for all our viewers.
Man,
Man, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I regret it. Oh well. Anyway.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it,
Anime.
it ruined the story for Animac. Unfortunate.
how the f could Sanji with his fucking French kicks defeat the badass Mihawk?
Dude, Mihawk was expecting swords, and then Sanji came out with his feet. Bruh.
Bro, he doesn't even have chakra feet. He has regular Frenchman feet. Like,
He
fuck
gets
that.
chakra feet.
He
man.
gets chakra feet eventually.
Okay, then. It's still bullshit because Dracul Mihawk is a fucking
Hey,
legend.
whatever. Maybe I made up the spoiler. Whatever. We'll wait. It's in 2 arcs, so take your time. Anyway, moving on. Wasn't that amazing? It's so fun. Link in the description to the Rant Cafe YouTube channel where we upload weekly episodes of the One Piece Virgin podcast. So, with that being said, outlandish fake spoilers should A, not even be believed initially. Let it run through your own cognitive faculties before you come to the conclusion that, oh my god, this random internet personality that has every reason to lie to you and no reason to sully his reputation by actually spoiling something. Maybe what he just said is not true. Thinking for oneself. What a crazy idea. And once you've come to that fantastic conclusion that you can actually think for yourself, don't get all butthurt about the fact that it's technically an anti-spoiler. Haha, you fools. By telling you that Sanji does die and you know I wouldn't spoil it, now you know that Sanji doesn't die. Wow, mind-blowing. And the funniest thing is, in a tweet that I made a while ago, I mentioned 4 characters that I was so sad that they died. And out of those 4 characters, 3 of them were Bakugo, Sanji, and I think like Ash Ketchum or something. And the 4th one was a character that actually died in his show. Obviously, I'm not going to mention that right now because that is a spoiler, and why ruin your experience of that story? But since it was camouflaged amongst the other characters that were obviously fake spoilers, no one that didn't see the show actually assumed that that character died. It was a brilliant ploy on my part. Well, I didn't necessarily account for the morons in the comments being like, but did you actually spoil one of them? It's true that the other 3 don't die, but that 4th one that you mentioned does die. And well, thank you, sir, for pointing that out. You just spoiled the death. I feel like it's between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, if you have fun, someone gets pissed off at you. On the other hand, if you don't have fun, you're not having fun. Moral of the story, have some fun. Someone will be pissed off because of their own personal stupidity. Then you get to make fun of their stupidity. More fun. It's a win-win. Hell yeah. Subscribe to Nux Taku now for future shenanigans and leave a like to combat the people that were like, bruh, holy moly, you spoiled me that Sanji died. Piss off. Get a life. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Think about it for yourself first and laugh at some goddamn toxicity. I know this is kind of a tangential point, but can we take a moment to acknowledge how freaking badass it is that I just tweet out that Sanji died, and just because you fan base members are such absolute mad lads that you spread that shiz, and it's a lot of fun. Trust me, I've been getting screenshots all the time for my Bakugo video. Just send this link to your friend in a WhatsApp group, on Discord, it doesn't matter. You'll get the thumbnail and title, and they'll just like flip out. It's the funniest thing. And then they watch the video and they're like, oh my god, this random moron seems to have good points. It's really hilarious. Please share this video around. But can we acknowledge the fact that due to your memery alone, one tweet of mine gets articles written about Sanji's alleged death, and it freaking takes over the Google searches? I'm sorry, that's a huge flex. Follow me on Twitter for future shenanigans on that site, and definitely subscribe for future flexes on this one. Have yourselves the most wonderful evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.